The meaning of my life was football. Sometimes I'm afraid by that. To dedicate your whole life to that is a bit frightening. But I have to acknowledge that it is the case.
22 years after his arrival at Arsenal.
C'était son dernier match à domicile.
People love you when you were born. They love you when you die, and there was a little bit like that. Everybody said I was great. Everybody said thank you very much and bye-bye. You realize that's the end of something that has been a big part of your life.
38 league games played, 26 wins, 12 draws, no defeats.
Destiny. Life is about millimeters, about timing. We speak about the Invincibles, but with little millimeters, we wouldn't speak about that. I believe in fate. I say many times that the secret changed my life. January the 2nd, 1989, my first time at Highbury. At half-time, I wanted to smoke my cigarette because I was a typical French guy. A friend of Barbara Dean, David Dean's wife, gave me a light. Barbara Dean told me, would you like to meet my husband? He's a director here.
I have a personal motto. It's the motto of the turtle. You don't get anywhere unless you stick your neck out. So I said, well, what are you doing this evening? He said, nothing. I said, well, would you like to come out to dinner? He said, I'd love to. And that changed our lives forever.
Sight that all Arsenal fans have been looking forward to. This is it, the arrival of their new manager.
Around the time Johan Cruyff's name was being mentioned, so you can imagine.
How much are the players looking forward to Arsene Wenger arriving?
Who?
Perception of me was, who are you? Arsene who?
He looked like a university lecturer.
And so comes the scholar. What? No, has he got a master's degree? Master's.
I know he's from France.
He's Swedish, isn't he?
No, I know he's a Frenchman, and I know he eats frog's legs.
Why have you gone continental, and is it a risk?
I think appointing any manager is somewhat of a risk, but it's a calculated one.
looking at us.
I could see the game was going more global, and I was prepared to recommend that we open up our horizons to something new.
Honestly, when I think about it, they were brave.
Okay. What's in this way, please?
There was no history of success of any foreign managers.
Straight into this lens.
And I could read in the newspapers a foreign manager can never win a premiership.
Last one? Okay, last one, really last one. Thank you.
I was born in 1949, very soon after the war. Dutlenheim. Don't say town, say village. Un copain moi qui habitait au bout là-bas, ça c'est de la famille. Alors ça c'est l'arrière de l'école. C'était la cour d'école ça. Physical strength was at the heart of the village. Of a guy who had no consideration at all was the guy who was lazy. Very, very strong Catholic religion. You had to go to the mass, you had to confess. I learned that at a very young age. Quand tu bavardais, tu étais à genoux devant tout le monde, au cœur de l'église. Comme j'étais un peu bavard, je me suis retrouvé parfois là-dedans. My first memory is the church, the football pitch and the restaurant where I grew up. My father was accountant at Bugatti. My mother had inherited this bar. It was one of the 3 or 4 in the village, but this one guided my life. Et ça, c'était le siège local du club de foot. Donc, on se changeait là et on marchait pour aller au stade. On est là où j'ai commencé mes premiers pas de petit footeux. Started to listen to people, to observe people. It was a great psychological experience for a little boy. I realized quickly that we had promised to win football games, so I took my mass book with me and I prayed during the game.
Toute la famille Wenger, quoi. Tous les cousins germains, donc mon mari, mon fils, Arsène, ses parents. C'était la génération qui ne s'épanchait pas beaucoup, parce que voilà, c'était les années après-guerre. Les seules valeurs, c'était le travail. Son père était très exigeant.
C'est la photo de mariage de mes parents. Il était très beau là-dessus. At that time, you could not marry somebody from another village.
On a très vite compris dans la famille ce que représentait le football pour Arsène. Et il a forcément, à un moment donné, il a dû un petit peu faire un choix. Les amis, la famille, mais sa passion était tellement importante.
In my wildest dreams, I had always to discover the world. I went to university, 1 year to medicine, 3 years to economics, 1 year to sociology, to understand all that exists around me. J'ai commencé à entraîner très très tôt. Et à 25 ans, je formais déjà des entraîneurs. 250 francs. Oh, c'était Byzance à l'époque. C'est ma vie, ça.
One in the middle, in the blue.
Beautiful.
I could sense that the team was looking at me, thinking, what is this guy? What is he doing here?
How can I sum him up? What can I say? He had a massive jacket on. Glasses were massive. My nickname for him was Clouseau.
It is Chief Inspector.
Pink Panther was, what's a lot of Pink Panther? Please come in.
So many cameras here. I feel like I'm making a movie.
He would trip up, forget things. He was just that kind of guy. There was a time when we played against Wimbledon. Lights went off, so we were walking back in. And as we were walking back in, he was getting ready to come out, and he said, "Well, what's going on?" Honestly, we went, "There's a berm." And he went, "A berm?" One nil to the Arsenal.
It was a monocultural team, an English block of players with one star in their Dennis Bergkamp.
Who? What he has said from day one, you shouldn't take the English mentality out of an English team. That's what he taught and expected from the foreign players as well, to have that mentality.
I ain't got time for transitions. I don't like that word. It's a type of excuse.
There were a group of very strong personalities.
Nice one. I love you, Dick. I love you too.
A group of men. They were not always easy, but on Saturday, you could walk out with them. You knew they were ready for a fight.
And I'm not singing 1-0 no more.
His biggest asset on the training ground was allowing his players to express themselves and work problems out on the pitch.
By the time you reach 30 years of age, you kind of set out your character, haven't you, as how you want to play football and how you see it. And when Wenger arrived, he gave a renaissance, really, for that group.
It was a drinking culture. I always felt it stupid to work the whole week in training and then to kill yourself outside the pitch. That cut that all off. They had to change their habits.
It changed from night to day. No tea, no sugar, nothing. All you could drink was water and the food what was provided.
Changed it to suit us, so we ain't got no butter or anything in it.
Immediately we had success with his way of thinking. That made all the English players realize, okay, wait a minute, this is what we want.
We didn't know if it was the stretching, if it was the vitamins we were taking, if it was the new diet. We felt like supermen.
Every win gave me a bit of time. But when you started to win, it created some adverse reactions. Private attacks, vicious attacks. I visited my parents in Strasbourg, and when I came back I took a cab and he told me, "Why did you resign?" I said, "Who told you that?"
He arrived just 7 weeks ago.
He said, "It's been announced on the radio."
But now he's at the centre of suggestions about his own personal life.
Mr. Wenger from ITN. I'll be asking you a couple of questions.
So I had to improvise a press conference on the stairs in front of Highbury.
Were you dismissed by the board this morning and then reinstated? Sorry?
To say I have not resigned. You know, if you have anything against me, bring it out and let's deal with it.
Sir, Mr. Wenger, are you aware of the nature of the allegations?
No.
This obviously started from nothing, but he had to come out and say something. It really was so callous and nasty.
Mr. Wenger, the questions are being asked because there is rumour, right, that a publication tomorrow is going to include some pictures and some stories about your private life.
Oh, we have photos that are very bad for you.
That is why
Bring me somebody who can speak about my private life. I have a private life like everybody, like you.
Of course, I had nothing.
There's a massive negativity because he was a foreign manager and he was doing stuff that was alien to everybody. People are afraid of things that's different. The natural thing to do is to try and find fault and try and create a problem.
What have you concrete from me, my life? What do you know of my life concretely?
We don't know anything.
We were. So let's not you. Thank you very much.
Il y a 4h15.
Patrick was known as a big talent in France, and considering that he was only 20, it was a big chance for Arsenal to take this player.
Oh, first of all,
ready?
You couldn't impress him.
Ready to go.
He wasn't scared of anybody.
Nobody knew who I was. These tall guys come in really skinny and have this kind of strange way of running. But from the first game that I played with the first team, I convinced my teammates that I can play in this club and I can play on that level.
It's Vieira. It's a great run. He's still going.
His first touch, his skills, he's running with the ball. Jesus Christ, that's our player.
Arsene, of course, was really important. He gave me that confidence to express myself.
Everybody thought maybe the manager doesn't know what he's doing, but at least he brings a good player. And I didn't bring a good player, I brought a hell of a player, you know.
L'année prochaine où il y aura toutes les choses en place, où tout le monde aura bien son rôle. Je veux dire, on aura une très bonne carte à jouer dans le championnat. Quoi.
And this new Labour government will govern in the interests of all our people, the whole of this nation.
From 97 onwards, England became more open to the rest of the world. London became very cosmopolitan. It coincided with the start of an evolution in the English game.
Was it a penalty on Sunday?
No chance, man. The referee was a cheat.
The 97-98 season, you could see there was something there that was blossoming. There was an old core of English players and a new clique of foreign players. I brought Emmanuel Petit in.
Good morning.
He was more defensive player than Patrick Vieira. So the two together, of course, were two monsters. I brought a super player in called Marco Romas.
Nicholas Anelka. Wow.
He was just like an unstoppable force.
I've never seen a 17-year-old kid that good. It was that sort of feeling of almost giggling at the quality. Really high caliber players, but they've all been bought by Arsene Wenger.
I'm a king of the world!
In the championship, we were 9 points behind Man United. But the whole team was convinced that you could win it.
Oh, it's over Mars. He's done it. The championship race is still wide open.
And Sheffield Wednesday wonder quite what has hit them.
It was very different because every other managers, even if you're doing well, they have to blast you down. He didn't do that.
3 against Newcastle, 4 against Blackburn, and now 5 against Wimbledon.
You could see people were fearing us. They feared us.
So close now. Arsenal chase the one win needed.
The intensity of the experience was something that was unbelievable. I never forget Tony Adams' goal at Highbury on a sunny afternoon in May.
Adams took through by Bold! Would you believe it? 10 straight wins. They've absolutely roared to the title.
It's difficult to realise what a Frenchman's done over here. I hadn't even heard of you, actually, I've got to be honest about that. And now we're faced with the prospect that you could do the double.
This was a defining moment of my career at Arsenal. An exceptional moment in my life. To win straight away was absolutely vital. Pom pom, the double. I could come unknown and win as a French guy. It was a very long honeymoon, and it was the start of it. The real start of it.
Is this your idea of luxury? There's a hint of history and wealth in every street-side symbol. For this is the fairy tale land which flirts with the business world. Yes, this is Monaco.
Monaco was the first time I realized that I could win. That was 36, 37. In my first season, we won the championship.
Balle de match! Et but!
But I won it with some English players, Mark Catley and the super Glenn Hoddle.
Oui, l'OM, c'est une équipe qui gagne en ce moment. Enfin, à tous, c'est un inconvénient.
Il vaudrait mieux que ce soit une équipe qui perd, mais enfin...
Marseille est un fantastic team.
Basile Boli, salut.
Bernard Pardo, salut à tous. Je dis rien. Eric Cantona.
But the rumors were there, the suspicion was there.
That period at Monaco was hard for him. There was some allegations of match fixing, corruption.
It ended badly.
Au lendemain de la victoire de l'OM à Valenciennes, un joueur accuse les dirigeants de Marseille. On lui aurait proposé de l'argent en échange d'une attitude plutôt passive sur le terrain.
Marseille was relegated. It was a dark period of French football.
Is this still your idea of luxury? Or has the commercial clamour destroyed completely the memories?
What is absolutely unbelievable, it didn't stop my belief in human beings. Not being capable to trust other people, you will be unhappy your whole life. I had done 10 years in French football, and I thought it's time for me to go somewhere else. And this is the name, Arsene Wenger. Here, we have some managers who are exportable and some not. Heureusement que je me suis dopé un peu à la bière japonaise. Sake. It's adaptation to a different way of living. That's not always easy. Ici, tu vois, la vie commence par les pieds. Ça tombe bien pour moi qui suis fouteux. Je sais qui, ça veut dire des places. Et quand on dit vous avez votre place en enfer, vous n'allez pas en enfer? Ah bon, on va se faire naturaliser. Le foot. I took a team who was bottom of the league. We finished second in the league and won the cup. I was a straightaway manager of the year. Ce qui m'a attiré, c'est un peu la difficulté de ce que j'ai entrepris. Et d'apprendre personnellement, parce que mon but est aussi de progresser. I was keen to go somewhere and show that I have a talent. I thought I can cope with going abroad.
Yeah! You see? Here I know. Here I know. Come on!
I could have decided to stay in Japan for a long period, but I thought I'd come back to Europe if it's for a big club. I had a clear idea of what I wanted, and I knew quickly what I could bring in. It's nice, the trees around there are unbelievable.
Normality is boring, isn't it? The way he lives his life is not normal.
I'm a hermit. In fact, at night I sleep in a tree there.
He was driven, wonderfully driven. I mean, so focused.
I lived in my bubble, my own little world. La vie au centre de Londres, je peux la regarder à la télévision. Je la connais pas. I had only a triangle: home, training center, Highbury. I prepare the game exactly like a player. I never go out 48 hours before a game for dinner or anything. You have to sacrifice your life for this job.